And so was Hattie.
Yeah, you were exhausted.
So let's just rehash that day. That day was fine. I was very nervous.
Yeah.
And it's not nervous because I haven't done it before. I've done it, twice before retrievals. I think it was just the whole thing of doing it abroad, which was a little bit scary.
And also, obviously, me not being allowed in the recovery room.
She
and
wasn't
things
allowed
like that.
anywhere. Literally had to just leave me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a bit scary. A little bit about that day. We went upstairs. I got changed. Tried to bring my phone in. Not that I was trying to bring my phone into the theatre room, but I just wanted something to watch when I woke up from the anaesthesia. But they were like, no, put it away. So that was crap. But did that.
You were gone about 2 hours, maybe 2.5.
Yeah, it felt a lot longer than that. But I got changed. I got in. I went in. They strap you down like. Arms, legs, and I wasn't crying, but a tear came from my eye. And like the midwife, Phoebe, was really lovely. She was stroking me. She was just like, you've got nothing to be scared about, la-di-da. But it was a little bit different to the UK. So in the UK, they normally sort the cannula out before you go in. They didn't do that this time. They normally weigh you, do your height, so they know how much anaesthesia
blood pressure,
to give.
all of that stuff.
And they didn't do any of that, so I was like, oh my god, they're gonna overdose me.
Yeah.
But they put the cannula in. I've actually got a massive bruise from it here.
Oh wow, you actually.
Yeah, it was huge. It kept on just turning my head, so I wasn't looking. The needle was thick. But when I was actually getting straps down, they asked me to confirm my name and so forth. That's the usual. But the one thing that was really different about this process was the doctor that was supposed to do it, Dr. George, wasn't doing the retrieval. So I was a little bit nervous, but the reason why he didn't do the retrieval was because he was actually in an accident 2 days before.
So we actually only saw him once.
Yeah.
Kind of on our first visit. He obviously introduced himself and it was nice to put a name to the face. And that was actually it. We went in on a Saturday and I think we were like, I did think we'd see him again, but obviously it now makes sense as to what happened.
Yeah, we don't know what happened, but we're assuming it's like a traffic incident because he's now in hospital himself and he's recovering.
Yeah.
And we've been told he will be going back to work on the 20th, so he's gonna need 2 weeks recovery. So that was a little bit nerve-wracking because it's like, who's gonna do my treatment? But the person that actually did it was his dad. And his dad trained him. His dad's a
family business.
Well, sort of. So basically, the hospital that we're in, the clinic that we're in, is a massive IVF clinic that has different clinics within it. So his dad's clinic is in this massive hospital. His clinic is in there, and so on and so forth. So his dad's a senior consultant, so he did it for me, and trained from the best, I suppose. Yeah. He came, told me George was all right, and then. Anaesthesia went in.
Then that was out.
Then I was out. When I finally came around, we got pulled into a room and we were told how many eggs were collected.
Wait for it.
32. 32 eggs. So that's a lot.
Yeah, the most that we've ever had on a collection.
I think the first collection was like 25 eggs.
Yeah.
But out of those 25,
mid-20s.
we only got 3 embryos.
Yes. And then the second
retrieval we did was 6 eggs.
Yeah.
1 embryo.
And that Naz was in tears as soon as she heard the amount that we got. You were like, that's it, it's not happening. So I think it's obviously, we're very lucky. Thanks for growing those eggs. But yeah, we're extremely lucky. However, again, just because we have that number doesn't automatically mean that it's going to be a success, but I think it kind of gives us a much larger number because they say to half it and then half it again as to how many will make it to the embryo blastocyst phase.
So as I said in I think a few videos before, just because I've got loads of follicles and loads of eggs, it gives me essentially more chances, but it actually puts me at a higher risk of OHSS. So we aren't proceeding with a fresh. We actually have to come back in a few months' time or whenever we want to
keep you safe.
To keep me safe. But yeah, we had some news the next day, on day 1, to let us know how many had matured and how many fertilized. So out of the 32, we had 17 that matured. So that means mixed with the sperm, they're growing. Yeah. And we had 15 fertilized. So actually the fertilized ones are the ones where they're growing in terms of cells. But it doesn't mean the rest
others won't grow or get there. They might
makes
just be slower. Yeah.
So we will get an update
Day 3,
Saturday.
day 5.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they say day 6 because again it can take some slightly longer. So some might get to like a day 5 on day 6.
Yeah. And they anticipate us having over 8 embryos to freeze.
Yeah.
So let's see, if we do, then great. Let's just hope they're good quality.
Yeah. And I think that's what we said over the last few rounds. That's what the priority is getting more, but also higher quality.
Yeah, because the last ones weren't great quality.
So yeah, but and then since the treatment,
yeah, feel alright. Very bloated, very bloated. My jeans and my trousers that were loose are no longer.
A bit snug.
It's very snug, out of breath. Very not fat, but very bloated.
Yeah, but I think before it's like when they were asking initially, it's like, oh, like how are you feeling? You'd be like, I don't know if I'm bloated. Whereas then when you were like, no, there's no question, I'm bloated.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes you go like, oh, am I this, or but you know when you know.
So to calm my ovaries down for the next 5 days, I've already taken 2. For the next 3 days I have to take, I'm not even going to attempt what they call it here, but cetricide, to calm my ovaries down, which they said looks like it's all good.
We had a scan today.
Yeah, we had a scan today.
And that was really good.
Yeah, I've got to take injections for the next 3 days to calm my ovaries down, and we'll see how it goes from there. Okay, so today is our last day.
Mad.
I don't even know what day it is in the cycle. Let's say like day 13, 14, who knows?
We were lost after about day 8.
And you know, as well, when they talk to you in the clinic, like, what day of your cycle are you? And are you doing a long we have no idea. We are just here for the vibes.
But how do you actually count your cycle? Is your cycle the last day of your period, or is it when you start?
We're literally here for vibes.
So we will, once we learn these things, we will also hopefully educate you guys.
But yeah, last day today. We're going back to the clinic to have a final scan. Voice crack.
Come out the road.
Yeah, I just realised.
Safety first, guys.
Just to make sure that ovaries are swelling and going down. Currently, what we're doing. So yeah, as well as today, we're also going to get a biopsy done of my lining, which they should have done when they did the retrieval.
Yeah, when you were under general anaesthetic.
But they forgot, so we've got to do that again.
They said it's like a smear. You find smears extremely painful.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be the nicest
experience, but is what it is. Has to be done. But yeah, so we're going for the scan of the ovaries and a biopsy of the lining. Also, if you've ever been in Greece, you would understand that Greece don't have pavements, they just have trees. The classic example of Greece has trees and not pavements. It's just in the middle.
Listen, this is the most stretch of pavement we've actually seen. We're going to show you some of the actual pavements and why we're always walking in roads to make videos. Hi!
Hey. Today is... We're leaving day, actually. We're going home.
We don't even know what day it is left in day 11, day 12.
I don't know. I haven't got a
We
clue.
lose track.
But we went in today to have a scan just to see how the embryos are doing. No, we did not. What a lie. We went in today to have a scan to see how the ovaries are doing.
You're on autopilot.
Yeah, embryo. To see how they're doing. They're reducing, which is great. So I shouldn't get OHSS. I just got to drink 2 to 3 litres a day and have a very high protein diet, which is a little bit difficult when you're pesky because, you know, eating salmon all the time.
You have been kind of introducing...
I did have a chicken
nugget.
nugget.
Little nuggets.
I did have a chicken nugget. And for the people who don't know, I've been pescatarian for 7 years, so... But
I think it was the fear of like, what if I'm not getting enough? Yeah.
I mean, it's not the healthiest, but, you know, we move.
Yeah.
And what else? They actually forgot during the egg retrieval to do a microbiome. I don't know.
Biopsy?
They were trying to, they were supposed to take some biopsy of my endometrial, just the lining. It's just called lining. But because, as we mentioned, Dr. George wasn't there, it wasn't passed over, so they forgot to do that. So they had to do that today with me awake, which isn't great because
it was really hard to watch.
I really don't do well with smear tests.
You were in so much pain.
So I anticipated it being quite painful, and it was.
Yeah. And they actually said one of the other partners or something that was in there like fainted because of obviously what the his wife or partner girlfriend was kind of essentially experiencing. Like, I think it's, and that's where it is. It was like so hard to see.
I mean, ideally, having done it under anaesthetic would have been the best option, but they forgot. So,
and we can like with the whole Dr. George thing not being there, we can understand it. But yeah, ideally.
But silver lining, they didn't charge us because I was in so much pain. So hey, we saved €300. But
yeah, very glad that's done.
Yeah, glad that's done. Glad to be going home. Glad to be relaxing. And going back to work in a few days' time, and then coming back, and then we'll decide if we're transferring 1, 2, 3, 4. No, shaking, but
we'll also find out a bit more about the quality of the embryos, like how many essentially make it to the blastocyst phase and then get frozen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, still more to come.